Hey guys, happy Thursday. I'm popping in here for a bonus Chariot chat because today was a yoga day. It was a makeup class and I have yoga again tomorrow. So, here's to making space for me and for taking that time because I know that I'm always better for it and grateful to do it. So just getting back and was reflecting on some of the things that came forward during my practice and the idea that this is actually the last day of Aries season because we are rolling on into Taurus season tomorrow. So happy birthday again to all the Taurians. I know some very special ones. So as we head into your time in the sun, I was thinking about getting grounded and just practical application of all of the things that have been firing off, all the things that are firing up and lighting up in terms of perhaps thoughts, ideas, worries, concerns, anything that's really been coming in here with a quickness or in abundance. We've got that 9 of Swords coming back again for a third week, really having us look at, how we are growing with all of that air movement, things that are coming at us in so many different ways, but in that way, mentally and energetically and perhaps emotionally as well, as we move through an abundance of feels in these very intense times. And, we are really ramping up to a very significant weekend and into next week with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. Just saw a little orb there. Jupiter-Uranus conjunction coming in on the 20th on Saturday, depending on where you are in the world, exactly where the times are lining up here. But Tuesday, then, we have the full moon in Scorpio. So you will have seen that I just shared the newest episode 20 of Stars and Cards. Mila and I really went deep yesterday. So much came up. I got a little emotional, really feeling it. The Scorpio full moon is bringing it all out. So as we gear up for that Tuesday, first we have this big, very auspicious and rare occurrence of Jupiter-Uranus conjuncting, which I talked a little bit about with the energetic weather report at the top of this week. I'm going to share again a little graphic, a beautiful graphic I just came across from Forever Conscious, and a little more goodies on that, how you can really work with these energies. And then, like I said, we'll be turning towards that full moon. I'm going to have another special available, which is actually going to be moving forward. I'm going to offer a new option along with my empowerment packs monthly for the bundle of 3 readings every month. You can get a la carte the moon readings. So stay tuned for that. I'll be sharing. I actually already updated on my booking link. Those options are there for anyone who wants to come along for the full moon reading. But today, Taurus, practical, and the words I heard from Metatron when I was laying in Shavasana, yoga's relaxation pose, was, I don't even know if it's a word. It was like step with surety. Surety. I don't even know if it's a word, but it's like with being sure, in your steps, in your footing, because I think sometimes, when we're talking 9 of Swords, when we're talking about analysis paralysis and getting caught up in the head, and I talked about this, at the beginning of the week when I talked about perfectionism and procrastination for me that comes from waiting until the perfect moment or conditions or finished product and not just coming on as we are, right? So then we might take those steps a little more trepidatiously. Something I noticed about me when I'm in these yoga positions, and again, this is it's called Svarupa Yoga. It's all about releasing tension from the spine. It's very gentle. It's very slow and deliberate in its movements. It's not like a bendy, twisty yoga. But in moments of certain poses, such as doing like a lunge or, different positions you do where you may be, stretching your legs out or back on your feet, I have a tendency for my feet they cramp up. And it's like that Charlie horse, you know what I'm talking about, what that happens in the middle of the night and you're frozen in, absolute immobility. Like, which way do I flex my foot or my leg? No matter what I do, it cramps up more, it gets worse. And it's like, so here I am in a lunge, picture it. And behind me is this foot like cramping up and it's so tight. And it's like really having to like consciously think about relaxing that foot and releasing and so, I was just sort of thinking about that tension that I hold, say in this case, in my extremities. I noticed that too with my hands. Now, unfortunately, for many of us who spend maybe a little too much time on electronics, we may find that we get a little crampy in the fingers and hands from constant scrolling or texting thumb, I think they call it now. It's, having to consciously relax my hands and release my fingers and toes in this case. And so I'm thinking about the Fool. I'm thinking about where we started here at the beginning of the month. Everybody plays the Fool. And oftentimes that Fool card sort of has that positioning of those legs sort of in this motion of readiness to take a step, a leap. Right? And in many cases, you see the Fool's actually right on a cliff, but doesn't even notice or care because they're about to, head on off the cliff. But not in a way that we're like, watch out for that cliff, you're about to go over. It is about being open and trusting, right? And allowing. And so if I'm stepping with surety, then it's like when you choose to move in a particular direction, step with gusto, right? Step with confidence and a knowingness that I'm putting all of my energy in the direction of this choice so that, because I am grounded in the knowingness that no matter what I choose, it's going to be a divine experience for me on my Fool's journey to learn, grow, heal, expand as a soul. And so, I've got 99 problems and worrying about whether or not I'm making the right choice ain't one, right? Because I trust that no matter what happens, all will unfold as it will on my Fool's journey. And so, just sort of going over all of these things and reflecting on Taurus season. And I was sort of, feeling into some of the energies that could be what we'll be experiencing in this current new season, incoming season, really starting to see more higher levels of our energy becoming more grounded, maybe even seeing ourselves kind of really coming into our own inner power and strength. Taurus is the bull. We're coming out of Aries season with the ram. We talked about get your rams in a row, lining up with all the fire and the passion and the gusto. Now we have the bull, strong like bull, definitely very connected to the earth and grounded and able to know that we have that within and being able to perhaps bring in some of all this swordsiness or the fire or however it's been presenting itself. And remember, right after this 9 of Swords, we have a 10 of Wands. And that's the 2 right there. That's the air, the swords, the ideas, the thoughts, all the things going on in the head, and the sparks, the fire, the wands being all of the ideas and inspirations. So, no coincidence that collectively we brought those cards in this week for our Thursday and Friday messages. Thursday, how are we growing? Friday, wrapping it all up. Where to from here? We're in Taurus season. So we could find ourselves like really kind of wanting to be more practical and determined to reach those goals, especially if we have some that have already been set into motion, but we haven't worked on them perhaps because Aries season had you all fired up, or, being under a Taurus sun perhaps will provide us with this inner strength, strong like bull, to follow through. So, if you started projects during Aries season, expect to gain some motivation to complete them. So that's really feeling very good, maybe gaining some momentum, step with surety. So the phrase that I'm seeing here for Taurus season is I have. So I have, and envision the things that you want and believe that you already have them. And so these things, whether they are material things or more earth energy of abundance, money, safety, security, energy, feeling more invigorated and better in our bodies. That's another thing. Taurus is going to bring us into the body. So we're really starting to see this reflecting on the physical body and how we're caring for ourselves, what the physical body needs, tuning into the ways in which the physical body is our greatest communicator in terms of as within, so without, right? So, really connecting those things, connecting the physical and the ethereal, bringing all of this together. So, there's some other aspects. And again, I'll touch on these things on Sunday when we tune in for our next week ahead, and we'll be officially in our first week of Taurus season. We'll talk more about that. But, I was just kind of feeling with the feet and this idea of getting grounded. And it's funny because I've actually talked to a bunch of people that are having issues with their feet or needing surgeries or procedures or having some kind of ailments. And like I said, myself included. So this is really making me feel like going in and spraying some Archangel Sandalphon for the Earth Star Chakra, that lowest chakra point at the bottom of our feet that connect us to the earth. So earthing, grounding, getting outdoors, bare feet on the earth if you can, all wonderful ways to connect in. But again, doing so, all of this stepping with surety, right? These lessons that come through during Taurus season, openness to change and the ability to be more adaptable to our surroundings. So try not to be so rigid, right, in your thoughts or resisting of change, because it's only going to make things more difficult, cramped up, right? This is how I was feeling in my yoga practice, really having to consciously breathe and envision my extremities relaxed, release and let go. And this is a beautiful energy to continue on through into the full moon in Scorpio, because it is the time to be thinking about what we want to release. And if it is resistance, because resistance to change will only make things more difficult when you do face adversities, roll with the punches, and, but we don't want to be like a bull in a china shop, just ramming or, rolling through everything, but, finding that balance, step with surety, right? But we're not coming in there tromping through everything either. It's balance, bringing it into balance. So, just some thoughts coming in here to kick things off, feeling those energies starting to roll in. I'm going to head in now and get some work going. Like I said, I'm going to begin tuning into the full moon altar for the Scorpio full moon. And like I said, if you want to start to taste some of what's coming up, do check out Stars and Cards. It was a long one. We really got into it. It went deep. Like I said, it's bringing up some emotions and deep feels and really having us look at things now that things are being exposed, now that things are being brought out. It is about seeing them plainly and being able to now use that information to step with surety into the new and what is being birthed and created. So it's really beautiful. These building blocks, here at the beginning of this astrological new year, Aries season, now Taurus, bringing in different energies that we can lean into that can help us to bit by bit, brick by brick. This brings us back so beautifully to the angelic scaffolding. So again, I know I've put a lot in the sharecast, and I always intend for you to tap in as it speaks to you. So, if you want to go back and see, I try to label things that I rolled in here on Monday with a little chat with you, just to kind of talk through the things that were coming up for me with some beautiful symbolism and this metaphor with Metatron about scaffolding and the work that each of us are doing, boots on the ground, right? That starts with us, starts here. And so isn't it beautiful how divinely it is all orchestrated, that we come in here with Aries to get things started and the particular energies that has ushered in for us. And again, part of being empowered and growing in the flow, right, is about aligning ourselves with those energies as best we can and utilizing them. It brings me to one more tangent before I head on in, because I drive Cooper crazy, by the way, when I sit in my driveway and he knows I'm here. He can't see me because I'm behind my husband's car, but it's just funny because he's at the window and he knows I'm out here. So one of the things that came up yesterday in Stars and Cards that I'm really feeling is about the distractions, the setbacks, the things that don't go as planned, noise. There's been a lot of noise in our atmosphere. You know, I've been talking about, the lawnmowers that go off right as I press record, or, people doing home repairs, and there's hammering and drilling and all kinds of things happening in our orbits that can be really frustrating, irritating, distracting, to say the least. And I was talking about how, this is something that I learned, through my practice. When I used to do readings in my bedroom on the floor, I sat in front of this big picture window. I'll show you because we're here and it's Marco Polo and it's awesome because we can just show. So there's my big picture window where I used to sit and do my readings, and I would face right out that window. And so I had a beautiful view of nature. There was always, whether it was ladybugs, butterflies, birds, just different things that I could see that always came into the reading. But also came the trash trucks, the construction equipment when they were refacing the whole surface of my street for weeks, hot steamroller, all this noise. And it was like, I have readings to do. I have to record, and it's distracting and it's loud. And, and it was this way of being shown, when I say nature speaks, everything that's happening in our day to day, the mundane, the practical, it can speak to us. It can inform us, and, you can be as woo as you want to. For me, there's always more meaning. It's, this is a multi-dimensional universe. Yes, it's trash day. So that makes sense. If it's trash day, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that inevitably, if you're sitting there, a trash truck might roll down your street. Correct. However, the exact moment that trash truck comes by and the cards that just came forward, or the topic that I'm discussing with that client, inevitably there's something about releasing, clearing, detoxing, carrying away, something that would always bring more meaning. And so, something that I get the message to do whenever I can, and this isn't always easy, because when these things come along and muck up our day, or, set us on a hanged man moment, or something that we, didn't plan for, it can be tricky to shift and align our energies to go, okay, well, that's not happening. I made this plan. I bought these tickets. We had these intentions, and inevitably somebody got sick, or, the car trouble, or, do you guys see that? That's pretty cool. Inevitably the car trouble, or something that comes along, the rainy day. What is it coming up to show me? How can I use that? Take from that the goods, the gold, the mining, the lessons, the blessings from that experience. Does it change the fact that I might be disappointed, frustrated, etc.? Of course not. Not necessarily, but it may help me to shift my perspective, and these are the messages that the Hanged Man was bringing up for us as well. So, it's just another practical way that we can weave these everyday occurrences into our life to help us to grow in the flow, right? To flow through what we go through. So I hope that helps. I hope that's resonating. But as I said, if you do want to check out the video, I have the link there. Like I said, I've been dropping a lot of stuff, and it's always meant for you to take in your time, or as you feel called. If it resonates for you, it's there. So thank you again for being here. Stay tuned. There's a whole lot more coming in this weekend and into next week. Get ready for the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction and the Scorpio full moon. So if you're interested in going deeper, let me know, and I will also be sharing here how you can snag that full moon reading and join me for what's coming in next week. All right, guys, have a fantastic day, and we'll talk soon. Much love.